Well, there's a number of players really. Marcus Smith for England, Finn Russell for Scotland, Tane Basham probably for Wales. They've got so many injuries. I think for France, a player like Cameron Woki, I mean, he is an absolute beast. Everyone talks about Dupont and Ntamack, but as we all know, it's the forwards really that win matches for their teams. So Cameron Woki and Gregory Aldrit, I think, are two amazing players in that French pack. I think for Ireland, Johnnie Sexton, I mean, he's nearly as old as Ronaldo and Tom Brady, but I wouldn't bet against him, continuing through to the World Cup. And the likes of Caelan Doris, I think, is a superb player for Ireland. And Italy, Paolo Garbisi is probably their star player, the number 10. They played a lot better than people anticipated in the opening game. And Rome, obviously, is a fantastic place for all of us supporters to go and visit.
A lot of the halfbacks, strangely. Marcus Smith, again, hasn't had that run of games for England. Now, hopefully, through this tournament, will get a run. He has been sensational to watch with the Lions and with Quins. Finn Russell, again, smashing it with Racing 92 and with Scotland. Antoine Dupont, the World Player of the Year for France and captain of the French team, he's just been mesmerising. So there's a lot of boys with X factor, a bit of leadership about them as well. And again, they've just been freakish in the rugby they played over the past 20 months. So really looking forward to watching those boys play in this tournament.
Have you ever heard of Marcus Smith? Keep your eye on Marcus Smith. I think that England's back three is interesting because Freddie Stewart rightly gets a lot of raps, put in largely for his sort of the level that put in early at a young age at fullback for England, largely because of his core skills, but his attack has been fantastic since he started playing for England as well. It's not just high ball, it's not just last-ditch defence and positioning, it's actually attacking play has been wonderful. But I think we mustn't forget about the likes of Max Malins, who's an incredibly gifted rugby player. Yes, a fullback, we could stick him on the wing. I wonder if at some point, almost sort of Rico Ioane style, we might see him at 13 at some point if there's a knock or two. Just fabulous player that you want to get on the ball. So yeah, and obviously Marcus Smith is pretty wonderful, but there you could pick one of 3 or 4 scrum halves. I mean, Rafi Quirk, Harry Randall, Dan Robson doesn't seem to get a look in, but wonderful player. Alex Mitchell, there's just tons of these guys.
Well, obviously Antoine Dupont, World Player of the Year, scrum half, everyone's going to be looking out for him, the whole of the back row of the French. Marcus Smith for England is a natural one to say, at fly half, has taken the rugby world by storm. Can he transfer that into a Six Nations and everything that lives around that? So from an England standpoint, him, Caelan Doris, fantastic player in the back row for Ireland. Finn Russell, can he replicate what he's done in years gone by? Can he sustain that up to the World Cup? The guy is a maverick, he's a phenomenon in Scotland. So I've just named a few, but there's so many fantastic players in this championship.
There's so many quality players in the Six Nations at the moment. You look at the new kids on the scene. Mac Hansen for Ireland, gets a try on debut, and Gary Ringrose. The quality, Conway, Hugo Keenan, the quality through that Ireland backline is amazing. I think their forwards are pretty more well established. Obviously Ben White for Scotland came on, scored crucial try, even though he was only on for 10 minutes for an HRA on Ali Price, but he's obviously one to watch. For England, I think everyone's pretty well established. Obviously still Freddie Stewart's there, Marcus Smith has still got the best to come. So there is quality throughout in the French team. Just go through that back line, go through that forward pack. They're all well known name now, whether it be by Marchand, who played exceptionally well. Penaud is just brilliant to watch. Jaminet was quiet on the weekend, but he's still quality. So there's loads. So that's without even touching on Dupont and Ntamack, and so there is quality throughout this Six Nations, and that's the best thing about it at the moment. Why it's so close is each team has their own standout players, but that's from 1 to 15, and that's why no one really wants to predict a winner of the Six Nations. It's just there's too much talent throughout each team.